Hello, hello, everyone. Well, how are you doing? There's no countdown clock. There's no nothing. This is just raw coming in live from the shop. Very naked shop. And so there's going to probably be some echo. There's no insulation on the walls or anything like that. Let me know if you can hear me. I know you can see me, but let me know if you can hear me just to make sure my microphone is working. Big shout out to all of my Spindle TV exclusive members that are hanging out with me tonight. And big shout out to all the subscribers that are jumping in to say hello. And so this is officially the first broadcast from the shop. Now, the internet might be a little laggish because I don't have the hard cables, Ethernet cables in yet or anything. I'm just working literally off of Wi-Fi from a router just to get everything out tonight. And hey, yeah, thank you, Charlie Hall. Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate that. Um, we'll do a 360 with the camera to let you know what's going on. But I really need you to take to heart that it is nowhere near ready for its glamour shots. The shop, it's nowhere ready for it to be like a functional workspace. I mean, I work out of it now, but it is still very much raw. The walls, these metal walls, right now it's very cold out here. I got the door open. There's no windows or anything. I needed as much wall space as I could get. And but the walls are 10. Like I said, I'll do a camera tour in just a second. But the walls are 10 foot tall, and the square tubing is 2 inch by 2 inch tubing. And so I'm going to be wood framing in the walls with insulation. I'll be running electrical from an electrical panel and everything to all the outlets. I'll have outlets and everything in there. We'll have electricity and stuff. Right now there is electricity, my 220 and stuff. My machines are functioning. And I got the digital wood carver 4848 behind me here. All of those are functioning. So the machines are moving along and all that happy jazz. So got all of that. I've got some 110 out here. The lighting is very rough. It's studio lighting. You can see how I have a real big hot spot here. I might be able to fix that. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can tone that down just a little bit. See if I can tone that hot spot down just a little. There we go. I might have to turn it up when I do the 360 tour. It depends on how well the camera picks up the light. So this building, just to let you know, give you a little bit of history with me. So 2010 is when I started working YouTube videos and woodworking videos and everything. And that was in a 10 by 10 shop, wooden 10 by 10 shop. And if you ever go back and look at some of my first videos on my other YouTube channel where I do the woodworking and all, and I'm sorry, I'm looking down here. I should be looking at the camera right here. It's a bad habit. I'm looking at the screen. I don't care what I look like. You guys, I need to be making eye contact with you and all. So it was a 10 by 10 wooden building. That building still stands right behind this one. It's about to get demolished, but it's currently being used for storage because I still have other machines and stuff in there. I'm just trying to figure out where it's all going to go. I might have to get rid of some stuff. So from there, a few years into it and everything, I forget what year it was, but I moved into a 12 by 24 building. So I upgraded to a 12 by 24 building, and I thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread because I had, all this room and stuff. It was like going from 10 by 10 to 12 by 24. I was like, wow, man. But with that, I started acquiring more things, right? And then all of a sudden it got cramped and stuff. Now, if any of you ever followed my other woodworking channel and stuff, I did a table saw stand build. I had a Porter cable table saw, and I did the stand build with a router table on the side and all of this. Well, that whole table and stand is like 6 foot wide, 6 foot wide and everything. And in my 12-foot shop, it was when you walked through the door, it was the very first thing that you came to, and 6 foot, 12 foot wide, 6 foot. So that gave me 3 foot on each side to kind of walk around and get into the shop and stuff like that. I still have that same stand, and it is at the entry of this door. Now, this building I moved in is 18 by 25. So I've only given myself, 26, 8 under roof, 18 by 26. So I've given myself only just about 2 more foot in length, but I've widened out from 12 to 18. So again, not much difference. The major difference is the walls in my shop prior, the 12 by 24, were only 7 foot tall. So with putting cabinets and stuff like that and everything up, it was like everything was like right there, and it was crowded. And so this, I honestly, it might not look like much here because of the machines. They take up so much room and stuff, but that's only 2 of them, many. I feel like I can walk around. I mean, I got breathing room, I got elbow room and stuff like that, where I didn't have before. Now, I'm not OCD, but this mess is driving me crazy, right? I need to get it organized. So here's the deal. I'm going to be talking to you tonight a little bit, and you can do some Q&A. We can talk about Vectric software, designs, whatever. I can show you on the screen, all that stuff. We can do a Q&A just like we planned. But I also want to kind of talk shop layouts, maybe get some tips from some of you guys and girls that have shops, or, what would work and what wouldn't and things like that. Now, some of the exclusive members, I think I did it in an exclusive class, like John Thompson and Alan Lee and all them. I have a hydraulic table, which is right here in front of me, that raises up and down. And in one of the classes, I designed a workbench that literally is going to mount to the top of this, and it's going to be a workbench, a wooden workbench, kind of almost like somebody help me out there, John Paul, St. Paul, San Paul. There's a construction guy who made a very cool workbench. The name Paul Rand, something like that. Anyhow, that kind of style, almost workbench, and we laid out the design and everything and cut and stuff, and I got the hydraulic table working, but I haven't put that bench top on it yet, and that's going to, give me my workspace, my woodworking space. Right now it's just a metal top. Ron Paul, I don't know what that design was, but so we'll talk about shop ideas and layout and stuff like that, and all. But let me give you a 360 tour. I'm almost embarrassed because there's stuff everywhere. It's really trashy. You'd be ashamed of me if you saw the state everything is in. But I'd literally just moved everything, all the storage stuff out of here because it turned into a storage shed for like a year, and then I moved the machines in, and it's not organized. Now, before I show you the tour, think about this, right? So I'm going to be building, a miter saw stand. I have a radial arm saw and a miter saw. I want them, they're going to end up being kind of married together on the same bench. Now, if any of you ever heard of the Tiger Stop, that automatic Tiger Stop that moves, it's like a fence pusher, and everything. I have some old control boards where on the axes, let's say I have a control board, a 4-axis control board, and 2 of the axes on that control board aren't working, and 2 of them are. Well, I only need 1, and I'm going to be connecting a control board up with controller software, and I'm going to be making a automatic fence for my miter saw fence and stuff like that. I'm going to be playing around with stuff like that. But so I'm cabinets, storage. I'm going to be building cabinets. I've got a beautiful design that I bought on Etsy for these tall closets, very compact, but when they open up, they're both sides storage and everything. I wish I had the plan handy. I should have made that a handy so I could show you and everything and all, but it's a very cool lots of storage for the miscellaneous stuff, tools that could hang, paint cans, spray paint cans, finishes, and just all the miscellaneous stuff. I really want to do right by myself with all the storage, right, with all the cabinets and drawers. So right now everything is on these temporary tables and stuff like that, and just know that we're going to be doing it throughout the woodworking videos and stuff like that. Some of the designs are going to be cabinets and drawers, and we're going to be building. We're going to actually get out in the shop and do some stuff now. So with all that being said, I'm kind of excited. Ron Paul, thank you so much. Rich H for doing that. And sorry, Ron, if you're ever watching one of my videos, I did not mean to butcher your name, but great table design, and it's going to work. I modified the design a little bit to fit my needs, but it's a cool design. Okay, thank you, Rich, for that. Hey, Jimmy A, how you doing? All right, let me give you the 9-second spin around tour, and we're under construction. Please excuse the mess. All right, thanks. Hold on. And here's the thing. I don't have all my cool cameras set up yet, so I got to walk around and actually grab the camera. So let me see if I can. What I want to do is I want to turn my computer just a little bit so I can see what you're seeing. Righto, righto. All right, cool. And give me a second to maximize this. All right, so you can see me. I see you. See me. See me. Okay. All right, let's get. And again, I'm so embarrassed about the mess. It's literally not organized, guys. So don't say that. This dude's a woodworker and his shit looks like that. Don't make fun of him. All right. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. So bear with me just a second. We'll start in this back corner. And the lighting, I can't tell from the side view what the lighting's like, but so in the back corner, stuffed in the back corner, I have a dust collector, Laguna dust collector, and I got a Laguna bandsaw. I have a adjustable height table that's up to its max height right now, but I've got a mini carver, 1824 digital wood carver mini carver. I am so embarrassed about the state of that machine right now. It's dirty and dusty, and it's got junk piled around it. I treat my stuff much better than this, but literally just moving in and trying to figure out where everything is going to go. As we continue around, you're going to see my chest for a minute. As we continue around, we have from that table, the radial arm saw, again, don't have any kind of base made for it yet or anything like that. There's my drum sander, and unfortunately on one of my, for some reason, I don't know why there's a step stool on top of my drum sander, but there is. There's a laser in the corner, and then a cart full of miscellaneous crap. Here in the front, you can't really make it out very well, but the table saw, that's that 6-foot table saw, it's right there in the front. And then over in the far corner, it looks so much smaller on camera, but over in the corner, hiding behind the 2440, there's a router table, and again, it's got a bunch of stuff sitting on top of it because, again, there's no cabinetry whatsoever in here. 18-foot, 10-foot wide door. That's the only access point in here. The 2440 got moved. It was out in the middle of the floor earlier this week for doing pass-through carving, or what's called tiling. It's now moved into its kind of parking spot. Again, it's equipped with a vacuum hold down, the Storm black box vacuum hold down. You guys are going to get to see more of that, vacuum clamping and all that stuff here very soon. I also have an extractor, a fume extractor there. That's what that clear thing is on top of it for like the laser engraver that mounts to it. And then there's this computer here, of course, but there's a 4x4. And then in the back, I have a 4x8. Let me see if I can show that a little bit better. But there's a 4x8 CNC with the Dr. Pepper sitting on it right now. Don't set your sodas on your tools, guys and girls, but that's a rubber top, so I'm okay with it right now. But so it looks on the camera, man, the camera really condenses it. Makes it look small. But also, what also makes it look small is all of the machines in this tight spot, right? And so what you're not seeing, let me come over here, carefully turn this around. What you're not seeing, okay, what you're not seeing is I have a big Pistoria dual miter saw for miters and all for metal or woodworking. All the little bench tools, drill press, mortising, mortise machine, all of that stuff, right? And I'm like looking around going, where's it going to go? But then the reason why I'm struggling with that right now and why I'm going, where's it going to go, is because everything that was getting stored in here, I'm kind of doing a favor for a friend. Some of their stuff is, they're storing it because they have no place to put it and everything. Family member passed away and stuff, so some furniture and things like that. Well, that stuff was in this building, and it got moved when I literally, here's how it worked. I rented a pod, movable storage, for 1 month. I moved everything out of this building, all the storage stuff, into the pod, took everything from my workshop, my 12 by 24 building, and moved it over here. My 4x4 was in there. It's operational. I make dust brushes and things like that. I make dust brushes for CNC. But production in there. Well, all that came over here, and then all the stuff in the pod got moved to the 12 by 24. Now that is a temporary situation. Once the friend gets kind of settled and everything, then that furniture and stuff is going to be moved out, and it's literally it's wall to wall. That building, that 12 by 24 building, there is literally only 4 square foot of space right at the front entrance, and then it's literally ceiling to floor to wall, beautifully stacked on shelves and everything. But there's shelves on top of shelves. Industrial type shelves, with those plastic shelves you see in garage and all, just full, and furniture and all that stuff, right? So when that goes away, then I'm gonna have a 12 by 24 that's still a great woodworking shop, right? Still a great building. So it'll be my, let's call it my workbench tools will be in there. The laser, the actual laser machine, I have a 50-watt laser. That'll probably go in there. This will be more industrial. It's not industrial, woodworking industrial, you know what I mean? It's more kind of the dirty environment, which you want to keep clean. I've got dust collection and all that, but you know what I mean. In that other room, the other building will be, maybe a finished room, or where I do sanding, or where parts go, lumber storage. I don't know, right? But there's going to be a whole nother 12 by 24 that I'll be able to use. So I'm not jamming this place up. But right now, this place is jammed up, right? And so let me make sure I didn't lose you guys and girls. And so, are we still together? Make sure I'm still streaming, because again, the internet is I have it fully set up yet. And so I haven't had a Dr. Pepper in 5 years. For some reason, I was at the store and said, I want to buy one. Oh my God, why'd I quit drinking those? Those are so good. Okay. Anyway, the 2440, my 24 by 40 inch CNC, it's running and functional, got it up and running. The 48 by 48 runs. And then the 4 by 8, I am building the cabinet for it. So it's not functional right now. It is, it's getting its electronic cabinet, so built and everything, similar to the cabinet I have for the 4x8. Is everybody still working? Everybody's good? All right, Jimmy A, thank you for that. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a Q&A, right? It's not just a show and tell. So if you have any questions, about Vectric or about CNC or anything like that, shoot, throw them at me. Put a question mark in there, or just throw a question at me. So I know it's a question and all. But if you have a question about Vectric, because normally we do design stuff in Vectric on Thursday nights or something like that. What I'm trying to do is I just wanted to do a little bit of a live stream from here because I'm going to be putting a lot of effort in. Oh gosh, you want to hear something? I love this building, right? It's a really nice building. We had two gentlemen come out, and God bless them. It was raining, right? But they broke out their ladders. They had their trailer full of all of the parts and everything for this. And the slab was there, I already had the slab stuff and everything. And they did what they did, man. And they did a really good job. They built this thing. They didn't rush because it was raining and all. They took their time and did everything, right. We'll put a quote mark on that for just a minute. And then once they got the roof up and everything, now they're under roof, right? So they were under roof and they could do the rest of the stuff very well. And man, it went so well. And it wasn't a hard rain. It was just a sprinkle rain, but it was one of those miserable days, but they did it, right? And and I love the shop. The only thing that they missed is the most critical thing, in my opinion. So between the concrete and the 2-inch steel tube frame, which is the base frame that goes all the way around this, there is normally a rubber gasket, a seal, and some sealant caulk to prevent water from rain and all. This slab is built larger than the building, right? So there is probably about 2-foot extension of concrete on all 4 sides with a 3-foot extension on the front. But it's larger, the slab is. And so when rainwater comes and runs down the roof and everything and falls on the concrete's flat and everything. And most water will run off or something like that, but some of it runs, guess where? Under the building, under the walls, right? So around the edge of the walls, when it rains, like it's raining tonight, it gets wet, right? And I'm like, yeah, I got this place got to be dry. It's got to be tight and right and sealed and all. And I called the company and everything and said, hey, this place is leaking. What do I do? And they said, here's what you do. You put some silicone all the way around, take the bottom panel, unscrew it, put your silicone around, and you'll be good to go, right? They're telling me what to do, right? I said, no, I'm gonna do it right. Well, what I actually have to do is, with all this stuff in the building, there was already furniture and stuff in here before. Like I said, it became a storage like almost just immediately and everything. But given the circumstances of the friend, but what I have to do is I literally, the studs that come up out of the cement, the asphalt, or the foundation, and they go through the steel tubes and, screw down. And that's what holds this building, anchors this building to the concrete. I've got to take all the nuts off. I've got to jack up the building, put in the weather stripping, put in the ceiling and everything, lower the building back down. I don't have to jack it up high. I mean, just enough to work, right? But I've got to do that all the way around. And this building is not light. It is heavy, right? So I've got some engineering to figure out about, what's going to be the best way to do this without screwing something up, right? And all, but I need to get it up so I can get that seal underneath, because this has got to be airtight, because there's going to be heat and air. Got a mini split that's going to be going in and all that stuff, but I need it tight and right? And I can't have water coming in most of everything that's on the floor that would normally sit on the floor that could be affected by the water. Think of like a cabinet base, right, or something like that, where there's no cabinets here. But right now, everything is up on little 3/4 inch plywood blocks, right? I switch them out every once in a while until I get done. So my first step is I've got to literally jack up this building section at a time, put this ceiling in and get it as sealed as tight as I can. Sealed. They gave me the good recommendation on the caulk, not caulk, or the type of sealant it's like a tube caulk. But and I also talked to some other building companies and said, hey, what do you guys use? And I went and looked at some buildings and everything and saw, how tight and right things were and all that stuff. So that's first step, right? So that's like an immediate step future now that I'm in here. Second step is start building storage, right? I've got all my tools spread out everywhere. You ought to see me trying to dig just to find a Phillips screwdriver when I need one, right? It's all everywhere. So I got to literally lay out all my tools, see what I have. I know a lot of what I have, but what I have, what I don't need, what could be sold, and stuff like that, and then build storage, right? Start building cabinets and all. I really want to do it right. I want nice cabinetry, and I always wanted to build one of those flip top stands, for like you could have your planer on one, flip it over, and the other side is some drill press or something like that. I can build it. I could teach someone to build it, but I've never built one, right? I've never actually made one for myself. And I've got my little benchtop planer and my little benchtop drill press. It would be a perfect project for that kind of thing. So we're going to see a lot of changes over the upcoming weeks and stuff, and a lot of additions. But so let me get back to on track here. After the ceiling is done, sealing underneath to make it waterproof, then I've got to put in my walls. Each wall is going to be 2x4 framed. I shouldn't say 2x4. The 2x4s are getting cut down. These are actually these tubes are actually two and a quarter, right? 2 1/4. And so the 2 1/4. So they're not going to be up against the back wall, right? Or that's 2 1/4 to that metal, right? There's going to be an air gap, vapor barrier, and everything with vapor barrier on the back side. So that's going to be brought forward probably about a 1/2 inch. So I have about 1.5 inches there, and that's about a 2x2. Well, instead of buying a bunch of 2x2s, because Lowe's, I love you Lowe's, but you suck. They don't ever have straight 2x2s, right? So I need to get some premium 2x4s. I'll rip them down, to 1.5 inch pieces, strips, and everything, and I'll make them out of that and everything. So I'll run them through my table saw and really clean them up, plane them, whatever I need to do. And even though it's rough construction, I still want it to be nice, right? Because I need everything nice and clean. When I put it, I'm thinking I'm going to put, not OBS. I hate OBS with a passion. But I'm thinking I'm going to put, I was going to put drywall, but then I thought, no. If I want to hang cabinets, or if I want to hang tools, or if I want to hang anything, I want to be able to hang it pretty much anywhere, right? Well, just because I have wooden instead of drywall and I have wood and all, that doesn't mean I can just hang anything anywhere. I mean, it's still got to be able to hold, right, structurally and stuff. So I really got to plan my walls so that I have, I think I'm going to go, believe it or not, no need for, but I really want to go tight because lumber racks, all of that stuff. Now the walls are only going to be 8 foot tall. Okay. The walls are only going to go up 8 foot. That remaining 2 foot will get insulated and everything, vapor barrier and insulated and all, but My electrical is going to be electrical conduit, pipe conduit, and everything. It's going to come out of the panel. It's going to be bent, and it's going to run across that 2-inch or 2-foot top there. I used to be an electrician, so I can bend some pipe and all that. We'll be good. And I have an electrical company helping out and all that with me, but I get to be part of it, right? Because I know what I'm doing. I used to work for them, so but it's going to look really nice. And overhead, the 10-foot ceilings and everything, I'm going to end up putting a crane in. I'll end up I got to figure out how much weight I can hold, right? Because I want to be able to put a crane winch in for, like, if I need to bring something heavy in or something, a slab or whatever. I want some of that extra help. If I'm working with sheet goods, taking sheet goods, I want to be able to bring a sheet good over to my 4x8 or my 4x4 or something, and I need to be able to come up overhead. I don't want to be having to lift that through all these machines and stuff. So it'll be overhead and it'll be able to drop off and everything. So it'll have those suction vacuum, I forget what they're called, but pneumatic. The vacuum sucks up and you can carry it around and stuff. So love pegboard. Yes, Kurt, I love pegboard too. I slat wall pegboard, and I know folks like April Wilkerson. She came up with a new concept instead of slat wood, something different and also some cool stuff. So I love watching what other people are doing and seeing what's happening. It's going to be one of those things where I'm going to be really looking for cool design ideas and then trying to implement them into the shop, and work in this, because it's got to be a production environment. I've got to keep on this machine right now. I don't cut wood on the 4x4. I only cut HDPE, marine board, starboard, whatever you have, King starboard. But for the dust brushes and things, but all my other machines are woodworking machines and stuff. The 4x8 is going to be, got a lot of plans for it. So it'll have drag knife and oscillating tangential knife for sign cutting and stuff like that. I haven't really figured out what all is going to be, but there's going to be some more attachments than just the HDS spindle that's on there. So pretty cool stuff. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm just trying to fill in the blank. Sam Gray says, Laney, I had to raise mine up. Let me throw this up here. Laney, I had to raise mine up, and I made L brackets and fastened to metal uprights and used jacks against them on the inside. That I know exactly what you're describing there. That is a great idea. That is a great idea, because the L brackets can go. If I'm thinking of the design proper, you had an L bracket that went under the frame and then upright, and then another L that a jack could go to basically, when you jack up, it lifts that up, right? It's kind of almost like a bracket going under the frame, support coming up, and a bracket coming out, and the jack on that bracket. Is that what I'm understanding, Sam? If it is, let me know if I got that right. But that is a brilliant idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Let me know if I got that right, Sam. Is that pretty much like a bracket to go under the frame? You get it up, get it under there, but there's a support that comes up with another bracket that the jack comes under on the inside. Let me know if I got that right. But that's another thing. I have always wanted to get into metalwork, like a plasma table and stuff like that, but more so welding. I want a welder. I don't care if I go on TikTok and I buy one of those amp welders that are on sale for $69.99. But I want a welder, man. And if Franklin, if you're watching, I want a welder, guys. It can. I don't know anything about welding, right? It could be, it could be MIG, TIG, or stick. um, wire feed and everything. I want a welder. And if I had a little welder here, then I could weld brackets together and things like that I need and all that stuff. But Sam, give me a little tip on how you made. Yes, wonderful. Give me a little tip on, did you weld it together? Did you have someone make it for you? Did you have what you needed to make it for yourself? That kind of thing. I would love to be able to, man, like if I need something, I'd love to be able to just go over to the welding table, do a little grinding and be done, right? It's not that easy, but I always wanted to mix wood and metal together. And I see all these woodworkers and stuff that are, hell, if any of you know woodworkers, April Wilkerson, man, I remember back when she first got her welder and, started learning welding. And then all of a sudden, fucking, she building a big old carport for her parents or on her building and all, and she's just rocking it out, right? It's like, I was like, I want to do that. Come here. You want to meet everybody? Come on in here. I got a new dog. Her name is Lainey, just like me. Now, I didn't do that. I didn't name her after myself. I'm not that narcissistic. But I went to an animal shelter, and this beautiful blonde husky looked at me, and I looked up at the name tag, and it said Lainey, spelled a little different, but pronounced the same. And I thought, oh, hell, you're coming home with me. So, yeah, but we gotta do it done. But she's, come here, come on. She's like, no, she loves being outside. Come here, girl. You're not in trouble. You're okay. She loves being inside. She'll come in and lay down under the machines until they start moving. Then I love when the machines start moving, everything is safe. I make sure she's safe and all that. But when the CNC is moving back and forth the car, Lainey sits there and goes, and she's watching this arm move, this gantry move, and she's watching it. And she's like looking and everything because she was just laying under that table. Now the table's moving, and it makes a little hum noise when it's moving and everything. And she's like, what is that? And I think it's full of everything. But she's a good girl, very well behaved, great with kids, people, and all that stuff. So I'm fortunate of finding such a keep company with and be a little shop dog. She's not little, she's big, but be a shop dog and hang out with me. But the shop, I'm so excited. I really am. And you know what I'm most excited about? That radio arm saw. Let me tell you something. Oh, and I have a panel saw too, right? A panel saw that you put 4x8 sheets in or big sheets in and shoot, panel saw, right? It can't fit in here. Right now it's inside that storage building next door with a bunch of shelves in front of it and it's packed away, right? But I got a big panel saw. I got to figure out what to do with that. But anyhow, I bought that panel saw and that radial arm saw from a gentleman who just could not, that Craftsman radial arm saw, brand new, not once has it ever seen a bit of sawdust. Brand new radial arm saw. Still hasn't been used by me. And I love radio. I don't know about you. I know people, they're dangerous and this and that and everything for sure. But I love working with a radial arm saw. I really do. They're great for me. But that one, the guy's like, I can't use these, Lainey. I need them out of here. They're taking up some room and stuff like that. And I said, well, tell me what you want for them and stuff like that. He said, dude, just give me $200 a piece. I said, yeah, okay, no problem. Especially for the panel saw, right? The panel saw, A-frame panel saw, right? I was like, yeah, sure, absolutely. No worries about it. Be right back. Went to the ATM bank and, I had some cash in my pocket, but I got other cash and stuff. And I said, now, here's the problem. I'm in a car. How do I get them to my shop? And he said, well, I'll bring them over and all that stuff. And the timeline that he was going to bring it and everything. It was a little later, you know, because he had to empty a shed and all. So I have a 6x12 trailer. I said, no, I'll get a buddy with, because I have a car. I used to have a truck that pulled my trailer, but I don't have a truck anymore. I have a car now, right? So I can't pull my trailer. So, but I have a trailer. And I said, no, I'll get my buddy. I'll get his truck. And we went over with the trailer, loaded it up, came back to the house. I got to get a truck one day, guys and girls. But right now, all my money's going into this shop. You know, so can't even haul wood. I can't haul wood anymore. Thank God I have a surplus of it. Let me see here. What do we got here? Sam says, I just used some short pieces of 2-inch wide angle iron. There you go. And fasten them with screws, you know, up high enough that it fit the jack. That's awesome. I use my radial arm saw for all my crosscuts. Yeah, Charlie Hall. I love a radial arm saw. I really do. I really do. I know over the years, right, they've gotten bad raps, you know, for safety or, you know, being dangerous or things like that because, you know, they because of all the different angles and the things that they can do and stuff like that. But if you take your time on your setup and you just, you know, you focus on the task. In my shop, my attention is on what I'm doing, right? Safety, 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 because I make a living with my fingers and I need most of them, right? Not all of them, but I need some. But the radial arm saw, just like anything else, you take your time, really focus on your setup and you know, have a plan, you know, that works for you, and then work the plan, right? So it's I love it. I love the radial arm saw. I love my drum sander. I got a Supermax 1932. It is a 1938. I should have just done the math. It was double. 1938 drum sander. And I really love that. The Laguna saw in the corner, the Laguna bandsaw and everything, that is one of my most prized possessions in the world. My YouTube subscribers on my other channel, my woodworking channel, they banded together and they gifted me that Laguna 14-inch bandsaw. A lot of stuff, put money together in a pot or whatever the case may be, but a semi truck pulled up out in front of my house and they offloaded a bandsaw. I had no clue, right? It was a surprise. And I was like, I'm sorry, sir, you're at the wrong place. And they're like, no, we're not. And I got a phone call. I guess they got notified that the delivery was happening, but one of my subscribers called me and said, hey, got something in your driveway? And so, yeah, I love that. And I'll cherish that thing forever. Hey, Mark Lindsay, what's happening? But I've got a lot of stuff that has been with me since the beginning of woodworking and YouTube and stuff like that. Some stuff new, but most of it, you know, used. I love garage sales and estate sales and things like that. This hydraulic table, I didn't get to show the hydraulic table, but let me see if I can tone it down. I don't have it down. Let's see. Let me come around. Hold on a minute. Stay with me, everybody. Your camera's going to be crooked for just a moment. All right, I got to get my camera set up. Now it's got stuff on it, right? But so this bad boy is literally almost brand new, and it was in a storage unit, a storage container for the gentleman that had it, and it's in. I mean, just there's only one. That's the only defect on this thing, right? Right there. You know, there's a few scratches. These are actually from me, believe it or not. But that was the only one. Other than that, the table is really nice, and I've believe it functions. Let me see here. It functions. Let me see if I can step back. Step back. So we can do this. So yeah, it functions nicely. It's nice and quiet. Yeah, it's going to have a wooden workbench on the top of it. Right now, it's got, again, miscellaneous stuff, router bits and all that, trying to organize something. But this, love this little table. I've always wanted a scissor table for doing projects that were low or tall. That I could lower down to work on them, or projects that are short, I can jack them up, right? That kind of thing. Let me get back around there for a second. So the camera set back up here. All right. One of these days I'll be able to push a button and it'll just switch from one camera to another. I've got, just like in my office, I have 6 cameras around and I can just different angles and everything. But hey, Marklin, thanks. But that Ron Hawk table, I'm going to be retrofitting it to where it literally like mounts right on top of this, and that way I can lower down for when I'm working on taller cabinets or something like that, or taller projects, and then I can raise it up and stuff. So we all get older and everything. When I started in 2010, I was a young little buck, right? And I didn't care about bending over and all that stuff. And now that I turned 50, bending over is not on top of my highest on my list of things to do now. So let's see here. Right. What do we got? Mark says, I use T111 to panel the walls inside my shop. The way I hang stuff for it. Yes. And so forgive me. I used to know all kind of T111. Isn't that the like a cement board? Am I right or wrong? It's like it's got a texture, almost looks like a bead board. You would normally see it like on the outside of a building, like a shop building or something, or a house even. Is that T111, Mark, or is that T111, Mark? Shoot, I don't know why my mind is drawing a blank on that, but I believe it's something like that. It's or is it a fiber board that has it's almost like got a finished side to it and everything? Let me know, Mark, if I'm right or wrong on that. And the biggest thing that I have is it's a plywood siding. Okay, all right, awesome. Yes, thank you so much for correcting me. So you went all T111 on the inside, and of course, like I was saying earlier and stuff, that would probably, because when you want to hang something somewhere, you have a wooden back versus a drywall back and stuff like that, and everything, which, I want, and T111 has a finished side to it, right? So it's like OBS, right? I'm not a fan. I mean, OBS serves its purpose, right, and everything, but I don't like the finish. This shop has got to be a functional workshop, but it's also got to be my studio for project photography, studio for when I'm doing how-to videos on the CNC for digital wood carver, or for my subscribers and you guys and everything. So I really need a nice finish. I need a good backdrop, and also I believe it has a finished side, doesn't it, Mark? Mark said I'm 63 and I call my nephew to come change a light bulb ceiling fixture. Yeah, right. I don't have anyone to call. It's 5/8 inch thick, and it looks like tongue and groove. There you go, tongue and groove siding. There you go. Yep, now that's got a nice finish. That looks good. So that's all coming up. So what I saw. I'm in Florida, so I got to have a vapor barrier and stuff and all that. So on my inside of my walls here, again, that 2-inch tube, there's going to be a 1/2 inch space. There's going to be a plastic vapor barrier. There's going to be a vapor barrier. And then my insulated wall, that 1.5 inch insulated wall and everything. And then it's going to have whatever finishes on it, right? And all. And and of course, it's going to have electrical outlets and all that stuff. It's not the electric side's just going up there. That's just the main feeds, and then they'll come down. They'll turn down and come into the the wall and stuff. But with Sam's idea, which is great, it gives me a great starting point on how in the hell I'm going to jack up these walls. Right, the L brackets. I think that's phenomenal. Because I was thinking how. I know I could put a lift under there to, like, when I take the bolts off, I know I can get it lifted up, but how am I going to get a jack under there, right? Or whatever the case may be. But that's perfect. An L bracket or an L angle iron. That I don't have to raise it up very high to get that underneath to jack it up. So I love that. Thanks, Sam, for that. I appreciate that. That'll make life easier for me. And it has a fairly smooth side, but I chose the tongue and groove side, and I painted it medium gray, so it disappears into the background. Nice. That's nice. Yeah, medium gray would look good. One of the first things is oh Lord, it was a good thought. Hold on a second. One of the first things is once I get sealed, and I know that there's no water coming in, and on the door opening, there's a track that I can put down on the door opening that the door comes down into, and when it's sealed and everything, water can't run up over or underneath. So there'll be I got that from a building company. But once I get sealed, like underneath sealed and everything, I'm not doing any foam insulation. That's where my mind was heading. I'm not doing any foam insulation, as far as like spray foam or anything like that. The reason being is if done incorrectly, you want to make sure the people who are doing your work right. But if done incorrectly and the chemical isn't mixed properly, it'll never fully cure, and it'll always be releasing poisonous gases and stuff if it doesn't mix fully or properly and stuff, right? So I don't want that possibility, which is very rare possibility of it happening and stuff, but I don't want that. So I'm just going to be using regular insulation, but also I got to think about future, right? The insulation that I use or what have you, if I need to run another electrical outlet or something, or if I need to do this or I need to do that, do I hang my panels in a way that I could just unscrew it and take that panel off and access that wall and do that and then put the panel back on? Do I, make it to where I can use, a flexible drill rod and just, in a snake or something to feed the wire through? What's my plan going to be, right? So all these unknowns and things like that, that's what I think about every day. So Mark went with, okay, so let me see here. Tony, you could use a cleat system for the cabinets. Yes. Okay, French cleats. Yes, I'm absolutely using a cleat system for the cabinets. I want my shop to be as modular as possible in certain instances. If I want to rearrange tools, or if I get new things and all, I want to be able, if I need to take down a cabinet because maybe, hell, I want to build a better cabinet because I think that I don't like deep cabinets because stuff just gets stored in the back and you never see it again, right, kind of thing. So If I come up with a cool cabinet design down the road, I want to be able to take one cabinet down, put one up very easily. So French cleats, Tony, that's a cleat system. Whether and April came out with a pretty cool cleat system and stuff like that. But there's a few of them out there. But that's an absolute must for me. And so with that being said, that helps with the hanging situation. So when I'm bolting things in, I can put on the support, that French cleat support, I can secure that to the studs, right? So I don't need to have to worry about too much about anchoring and things. Mark says, I also had closed cell spray foam installed, no vapor barriers needed, and it added structural strength to the building. Yes, right? Structural strength to the building. It probably helped quite a bit with sound too, huh? Because I'll be doing some very cool soundproofing for echo and stuff, absorption and all that. Because again, I'm going to be filming in here as well. So we'll see that. Sam Gray says condensation was a problem for me in the ceiling, and hold on a second. Let me throw that up there. Condensation was a problem for me from the ceiling, and I'm in New York, so when the temperature changed, it would drip. Right, and I have seen videos on that where that happens. Right, and I've seen videos on people, on what they're, how they insulate the ceiling and things, and the way they do it and all to prevent that. Or if it's done wrong, it could make that worse, right? It could cause that condensation to actually form. Like let's say the condensation wasn't going to form on my shop. Let's say it wasn't, as an example. But then all of a sudden I insulate it improperly, and it creates that temperature change where one temperature is different from the other, and it actually creates the problem. Right? I got all that stuff, man, all those fears and all that stuff is in my mind because I'm in Florida and there's temperature changes, right? And this is going to be a climate controlled environment. I got a mini split that will, heat and cool this place. And so, yeah, I'm like watching videos on how to insulate a metal building, or the best way to frame in a metal building. And I'm a YouTubing, going down rabbit hole after rabbit hole. But yes, that dripping from the ceiling, that is a real fear. That is a fear because it happens. And it could happen just by chance because of the situation in the environment, but it can also happen because because I created it with the way I did something improper, right? Or had someone do something and they didn't do it right? Oh gosh, that would kill me. Because the last thing I want is anything in this shop. Everything in this shop is electrical. There is nothing that's not. I don't want any condensation anywhere near. Let's see here. I built electrical chases in the wall ceilings where it meets the wall. So if needed, I can remove a panel and then run more wiring. Very good. That's great, Mark. That is, future planning is going to be a big thing and stuff. For me, I made the mistake in my smaller building. On the back half of it, I put paneling up, interior paneling, like a beadboard paneling. And I had just the one, the outlets I had in there, but there came a time where I needed another, more electrical outlets because I ended up getting another machine, or I wanted to put Ethernet in so I could just plug in, Ethernet for internet and stuff like that. And that paneling, it was a nightmare situation because I nailed the paneling up. And on top of that, I put liquid nail on the studs behind the panel. Right? So I did not give myself any future ability, and I do not want to make that same mistake with this shop. Let's see here. Ronnie Probert says, Laney, Just a thought. Opposite of lifting the building to put in the gasket in, could you apply a rubber membrane on the outside like they use on basements? Well, so on this building, the bottom panel, the bottom metal panel, it goes down to the concrete and kind of flares out a little bit, right? So it's almost like longer than the wall slightly, and it kind of flares out. And so behind that panel and where the metal stud is, there's a small gap, right? And so what the building kind of said is unscrew that bottom panel, lift it up, seal there, and then back on. But you guys and girls know, you take a screw out, or what if a screw breaks, or it doesn't unscrew it, it strips inside there, or once you start screwing with taking panels off, the guys that built it did a great job, other than forgetting to put the seal in, which is kind of a big miss, but they did a phenomenal job on the installation of the panels, right? I'm super happy with it. I mean, it's tight and right in those aspects, right? You start unscrewing things, and then all of a sudden you bore out a hole or whatever, and the screw can't go back in there. Now you got a hole in your panel, and you got to put another hole in there. And I don't want that, right? That just it scares the hell out of me. And I'm good. I know construction, right? I honestly I am not afraid to admit that I have skill in the area and everything, but shit happens, excuse my French, but stuff happens, right? And I don't want anything to happen that I have to deal with and try to work around and fix or patch or this or that on this metal building, right? So I'm like, and the building's not, it's just bolts, right? The anchor bolts, and you take the nut off and the building lifts right off the bolt, right? But I mean, the building's heavy, but it lifts right up. So I don't need to unscrew any of the panels or anything. It's just easier for me, honestly, to do it right, to lift it up and get the gasket in there and get the sealant. It's a rubber type sealant, but get it in there, and then when that building comes back down, it compresses it and it makes it leak proof and stuff. So, well, let's see here. But that being said, Ronnie, could do that for sure. And we're in Florida, we don't have basements, so I have to look, and I'll next videos I'll look at and see what they use for basements, because I'm unfamiliar. But let's see here. Charlie Hall says, when I built my shop, I ran all the electrical under the slab, in the conduit, and fished wires up and all that. Yes. Okay. So ideally, my situation, had I had more time or planned it better, I'm a big advocate of conduit and everything under the slab for future growth and all that stuff. Absolutely, that's the way to go, in a lot of cases. But I had the concrete guys, their time frame. Once I got the level ground, and then I got the termite treatment and and everything, or the level ground. Sorry, once I got the ground level and graded and all that stuff before the termite treatment, that would have been the time for me to put in all the plumbing. And the electrical company that I hired, they kind of just left me hanging. That's why there's no electrical in here right now. So I got a new electrical company who are friends of mine that I used to work for that are going to help. But the other ones kind of left me hanging a little bit. Well, that was the plan. It would have been part of the plan, right? Well, it wasn't. So the guys came out and graded the ground. And then right after that, there was the termite sprayer was coming out, and then they tarped it, or, they covered the termite spray. And once that's done, the inspection comes in, and then the slab comes in the next day, and they did this, or no, I think it had to sit for a couple of days. I forget what there's a process that happens after the termite inspection. There's an inspection by the inspector, the city of Ocala, but I think it had to sit for a day or two, and then concrete was like right after that, right? So there was no time for putting stuff under there, and then literally concrete poured, cured, gave it a week and a half, 2 weeks or whatever. Metal building came out, and put it up. So I was ready. I was gung ho. I was ready to go, get it all done, and with that, some things got rushed. But yeah, I would have loved. My original plan called for there was floor outlets, 220 floor outlets and everything, um, so I could put my machines wherever I want and just plug right into them. But floor outlets also they could also kind of be an obstacle that you got to work around and stuff like that too. So it was like I went through it all. Let's see here. So, but Charlie, yes, man, if I could have put some pipes in the slab, that would have been great. Let's see here. My wife can't hear any of my tools from the house. It's pretty quiet. So yeah. So the soundproofing, that foam insulation, I'm sure helped a lot with that. Let's see here. All right, condensation was the reason why Mark went with the closed cell spray foam. So so the installer gave you that guarantee that would, help with reducing that. I nailed up the T111 on all the walls except the wall I mounted the electrical panel on, right? So you could remove it. That's smart. See you, Mark. Appreciate you. JR says, I went nuts with my electrical installation since I did it myself. I have 4 gang boxes on 48-inch centers on all 4 walls, right? Plus the ceiling. And the give me a second. Let me see if I can pull it up. What email was that? Would that be? Give me one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I can pull this up. I believe that I have my kind of layout. Give me a second. It's asking me to log in again. Okay, so if I search carport and Dave, of course I went to the wrong one. Let me try that one more time. I need this Gmail. There we go. Oh. Stand by. One more second. Okay, if I search, I don't know why I called it carport, but if I search, I should have commercial data load, electrical layout. Got it. Okay. Let me drag that over to the other screen. let me share that screen. Come back over to you guys and girls. All right, so let me share that screen and I'll show you kind of what I had in mind. Entire screen, that one, share. And okay, so on the let me zoom out just a little bit so we can kind of see it at a glance. That's a little much. So here, up here, that's the 10-foot door. That's the entry door. And so the panel and meter and everything are back to back outside here. And on each wall, so I had waterproof outlets on all the way around the outside. But on every single wall, if you guys can focus your eyes on the right side, I'll try to zoom in. Let me scroll over here. So 220, 240, 20 amp, regular outlet, dedicated circuit for a machine, dedicated circuit, regular outlet, 220, 20 amp circuit. And you can see across the bottom, I had dedicated circuits. So each machine was going to have its own dedicated circuit, each station, not machine, each station has a dedicated circuit. And then there was 220, 220, 220, right, for, all the way up the walls. And then that left side over there, coming up that left side, and the wall pack. So let me zoom out now. Lighting, outside light on front and back, and then the LED lighting. Oh, I don't know why it got dark all of a sudden. Oh, hold on. I lost it. Stand by 1 second. Let me get it back. Electrical there. I'm not sure why it got lighter. It got lighter. But I don't know why it faded. That's weird. Anyhow, it didn't fade. I'm looking at the wrong screen. It's dark. It's just faded on my other screen because the brightness is so dang high. I was like, man, I can't see it now. But so that is the lighting and everything across the top and stuff. But that was kind of the initial layout. And everything, is running on Unistrut. The lighting is hanging and all. So it that's what I'm shooting for on this. And right now the only CNC. Let me stop this. Give me just a second. Right now, the only CNC, so the Techno 4x8, it's a 3-phase CNC, but I have a phase converter, 3-phase to single phase. But the new cabinet I'm building, it's going to be a single phase system, and I'm just going to change out the spindle, get rid of that old HDS spindle. But yeah, so no, that's what I was shooting for. Well, guys and girls, I mean, I really appreciate you hanging out with me. I mean, there's not a lot to show and tell right now, but I appreciate the insights and the tips I'll go look at some T111, see what that looks like, as far as maybe a finished interior. Sam, thanks again on the L brackets for jacking up the ceiling and that was a good idea. And then there was one other. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I properly thank everybody. Hold on. The condensation. Who was it? Sam. Mark helped with the French cleat system for Tony. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a must, or that's not a must, but it's definitely going to be that's a done deal. The cleat system, French cleats, I'm a big fan. Modular, that's the right term, right? Modular, because you can move things around and all that stuff. So that's what I'm at here right here now, guys. And I don't have anything to carve right now to show you or anything like that, but the shop is gonna come under. It's coming underway, and it's gonna come fairly soon. I mean, I'm come together. When I get building and everything, when I get building like the cabinets and all that, once I get the designs laid out, and I love SketchUp, right? I use SketchUp. I'll lay everything out in SketchUp. I still use the free version, right? But I'll draw everything out in SketchUp to scale. Those designs I can import into the Vectric software to cut the cabinet parts and stuff on the CNC and everything. But I'll lay out everything in SketchUp. I'm not going to go crazy where I actually draw the tools and put them on the bench or whatever. But I'll use it to design the cabinets I want to make sure that I have the right dimensions and the joint. My cabinets are not going to be deep cabinets. I kind of want to keep them somewhat shallow enough that tools will fit what tools are dedicated for that particular cabinet, but also not deep to where stuff just gets stored in the back and you never see it again. And just you can see from the mess that I have, I've accumulated a lot of stuff, and probably half of it can be thrown away. But no, I can't. Not until I go through it all. But Rome wasn't built in a day. That's for sure, Charlie Hall. Rome wasn't built in a day. But this has been a year now. So I bought this building in December of 23. December 23. And that's when it was built. It was finished in December of 23. And we're now in 25. So a whole year. And for that year, it was a glorified storage building, which I'm not happy about, but I'm always there for everybody that needs, there for a friend in need. But now is the time for it to get it. Now it's like, hey, a year, right? Let's get going. Let's get this thing going. I'm anxious to get it going, right? So it's going to be one of those things. All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, nice to see you got it built. Yes, Big Daddy Fish. Yes. I'm happy that it's built too. Somebody gave me a good idea the other day. The garage door, right? That is the only entrance. I literally wanted all the wall space. I didn't want any doors, any windows, or anything, right? And that's where the heating and air is going to come in handy and stuff and all, because right now I hate to tell you guys my temperature because y'all are freezing up there, but we have a freeze alert, right? We have a weather freeze alert here in Ocala. We have a freeze warning that came out, right? And it's only 49 degrees. It's only 49 degrees. We got a freeze warning. Anyway, so the door is wide open, right? There's no heat in here, so it's a little chilly. But Also, it's wide open, right? So literally, people walking down the street, driving down the street, when this thing's lit up, you can see everything in here, right? And I got a dog, but still there's safety concerns or security concerns. And knock on wood, I live in a great area and my building is in a great area, but things happen, right? So someone's like, I could put maybe like a sliding screen door or something, one of those screen door type things, or I could do those, like you ever see something that, like those walk-in freezers that have those plastic drapes, looks like curtains, like little strips, like let's say 12-inch strips or whatever, and then you kind of walk through them and stuff when you're going into like a deep freeze or into a clean room or something like that. They were saying maybe hang that on the door and all, and it'll at least give you some privacy, but it'll also it might help with kind of keeping some of the heat in or the cold in, in the summertime and stuff like that. I don't know, right? So yes, Tony, thank you. The dog and I will have a good evening. And with that being said, I'm rambling on. But I will figure out something with the door and everything else. And I want to take you guys and girls on the journey as we go through and make the cabinets and all that stuff. So hopefully stay tuned, and it'll be learning lessons. We'll be designing in Vectric, of course, and carving on the CNCs and setups and jigs and all kinds of fun stuff. Looking forward to that. And hopefully you join me, on that journey as we go through that. And of course, we'll have other fun and cool projects, with holidays and all that stuff coming up and everything. But I appreciate your time tonight. Again, didn't have a whole lot of questions on the Vectric design stuff. It was all about the shop because I talk so much. But I appreciate each and every one of you for hanging out with me. The only problem with the garage door is you lose the air conditioner when you open it. That is true. And so that's the thing, right? We've got to figure that out and stuff. But y'all have a wonderful evening. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight and giving me some little tips on a few of good things. I appreciate every bit of it, but I just wanted to show that there is an actual building. I've been talking about it for a year, but nobody's really seen it. They've seen pictures and all, but nobody's really seen it. Like, Lainey, how's the shop going? How's the shop going? I'm like, it's going okay. It's going okay. But it is. It's going okay. All right, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Members, exclusive members, Wednesday, we'll have a class. Public, everybody else, Thursday at 8 o'clock, we'll see you. And y'all have a wonderful night. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for hanging out. All right. See you, everybody. Enjoy your evening and enjoy your upcoming weekend.